Hello, everybody, and welcome to CSS. I was going to say WR because I've got the flag behind me, but it's not. It's CSS for their qualifying round to see who pops in and is a part of their season, which is just around the corner. I am joined by the incredible Bobberts this week, who is going to be holding my hand because this is completely new to me, this league. So, Bobberts, I believe you had an incredible part of this last season.
Indeed, yes. Not only as a driver for my team, but also as stepping in for commentary aspects as well on quite a number of occasions. So yeah, I wouldn't exactly say I'm going to hold your hand for this one, but I'm sure as I'll give you a good hand in this, nonetheless. But the one thing I can say is within this first lobby that we actually have 2 returning teams and 3 brand new teams.
Which is great. It's great to have new teams through it. And obviously, the big question mark, I suppose, is whether TTM is going to get through and be a reigning champion through all this as well. But let's go out on qualifying. There is the 10 drivers here. And obviously, five I say obviously. It's quite new to me, to be honest. It's 5 teams. They're all coming through and, well, trying to stake a claim in the full season, aren't they? And this is what makes it a little bit more cutting edge, I guess, for these drivers. They've got to make sure they put the lap time in today.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, obviously, this is a make or break for every single one of these drivers. For their representative teams to, take part in CSS's new season. Obviously, as to who decided we're going to do Abu Dhabi, I mean, that's it's a good track. It's I think probably one of the better tracks you could probably do to see what everyone's pace is at. But obviously we do have our first times currently out on the board. Obviously my team, currently Team Shizou, are out on here. Team Shizou were the runners-up last season to TTM, but obviously as we stated, TTM did pretty much run away with it last season, especially with Furious's consistent number of victories last season. But obviously, yeah, new season. But let's see what everyone's got. But I was going to say the first drive out on track for BRT, which was Zink's Motion, completely outbroke himself into the chicane in the middle sector and has already invalidated his first attempt.
That's not ideal for him, but I'm sure plenty of tyres for them to go through. Blunty is now on down the first of the back straights, I suppose you could call it, down into turn 6. 2 really long straights here and great overtaking opportunities when it comes to race. But qualifying, if you make a mistake, it's quite, well, critical for your lap time.
Oh, without doubt. I mean, the only thing that these drivers have got is that, I mean, obviously we do have the standard short qualifying situation, but they probably should get a good, maybe 3 or 4 attempts to get a decent lap on the board, as Flo just outdoes Jacob there by 1/10 of a second with the initial bankers being set. Finbob now coming across the line, and he actually demolishes Flo's lap time by 3/10 of a second, quickly followed by Quantum. So time's coming in thick and fast. Yeah,
they are indeed. And well, Quantum, known in WR Tier 1, if I can say that in the CSS streams. But yeah, he's well known, and as a lot of these drivers are, as Blunty throws himself into third provisionally. But you're right in mentioning that they are very much a case of banker laps this early doors. As Shizou Venom nearly crosses a white line, but crosses a line in third place. I thought that was going to be an invalidation, but it wasn't.
I thought that was invalidated.
Liam Hardman a little bit nicer around that final corner, but unfortunately meaning that he's about 7/10 of a second off 7th place man Jacob there in the end. Yet to come out, well, Zink Motion we've seen come out, but yet to come out through and even go on the track is FRC Hops there, and I wonder if he's just waiting until the track's bedded in a little bit.
Yeah, quite possibly, unless he's accidentally clicked on the balanced option, so only it has the 3 sets of soft tyres. So, yeah, it is a possibility. You'd have thought that everyone would choose the softer option to go for 4 attempts here, as he actually now does come out onto the circuit. But yeah, obviously early days here. And like I said, the 5 teams that we do have here, we do have CRE, TIR, PGR, and obviously the 2 return teams of Shizou and BRT, and it is currently PGR's Quantum, obviously newly signed Quantum after Novus's shutdown, currently out on top.
Yeah, looking quite good, and if it stays that way, obviously Quantum will be very happy with that, but Hops is using this back straight between turns 5 and 6 to really warm up those tyres And maybe you're right. Maybe he has clicked the balanced option because he's gone out much later than everyone else to set that lap time. And maybe he just wants a clear track. Who knows? He might just like being all on his own. But with this setup, obviously we've got 3 other lobbies tonight as well, haven't we? We've got a 8:30 lobby 2, where we've got AMS, TTM, XPG, and EVR, and then lobby 3 at 9 o'clock, which sees FRT, FG, ILD, and IFE, I believe. So some real big team names out there. But I mean, obviously being in a team yourself, Bobbers, but also knowing how good some of these drivers are. I mean, have you got any early predictions of who's pretty much going to get themselves through?
I would say it's hard to say because anything could happen, and even somebody in one of the top teams could easily make a mistake and they could find themselves in a lot of trouble, or even maybe not even qualify. But I mean, I'd have thought, obviously, I'd have hoped my own team Shazoo, should get through fairly comfortably. The same with PGR as well, especially with, like I said, with their new signings, and Quantum, obviously, we know is at the top of his game. So I would expect them to get through. BRT also in this lobby. I'd have thought that they should as well. Finn Bob has been extremely quick on this game actually, and is showing a great deal of promise. But again, it's open. Expect the unexpected. Anything can happen.
Definitely, and generally, the old adage saying of anything can happen in F1, and it usually does, is true, even in the esports and the league racing scenes as well. Because all it takes is one mistake, and you're fighting an uphill battle to get yourself back into that and get your team all set up. Hops is looking incredibly quick. He's purple in Sector 1, purple in Sector 2, which is quite promising for him at this stage in time. Just over 10 minutes of the session remaining, and he's, I know the cars are ghosted, but you want the ghosted cars to get out of your way just to make sure there is no issues mentally, I suppose, in the driver's seat when seeing a ghosted car is never a good thing. But around the final corner he is, across the line, he's pretty powerful through that. It's only 3rd fastest, which is probably not what he would have wanted with 2 really quick first sectors.
Indeed, yes, but I mean, whether the glitch is still on this game with these sector time aspects, but the fact it's only a 10th and a half off Quantum isn't a bad effort, and obviously with Blunty less than a 10th of a second behind him, it's a good cumulative. For CRE. So it's a decent start for them, but obviously we do expect times to get quick. I do expect people to be into the 21s, probably mid-21s, I think, towards the end of the session potentially, but I would say that I could be talking nonsense because I haven't done a lap on this track yet, so I can't exactly say what sort of times we should be looking at, but I think we will get a good idea as we go late into the session, as Flo is coming to the end of the middle sector. He'll give us a good representation to see how much he is up on his time after a 0.4 banker. And the answer is he's only a 10th of a second up, and I think actually is down on what Hops had done after the first 2 sectors.
That wouldn't be ideal for Flo. I believe the quickest lap time, I really should have kept the spreadsheet open, was a 1:21.612 on the PC side of things. So these guys, I reckon, will be thinking 1:21.8 is possibly what they should be to looking at that fastest time, I think.
Yeah, quite possibly, as Flo has a good last sector and does get into 22.2 as well. There goes Quantum on a 21.8 on his second run. So currently PGR are looking in a very strong position here at the moment.
Which is which is good for PGR. If you're PGR fans, this is exactly what you want. An invalidation for Finn Bob as he's dropping himself into the pits. Flo has gone into 3rd place with a lap time. I'm not sure how I missed that one. I think I definitely was waffling on about something else. But Jacob, I believe, is on a lap time as he comes through now turn 9. And that is so much of a better corner now, isn't it, as we watch Jacob come through, that it's a little bit more flowy.
Definitely is. I mean, it's weird as to how much the construction of this track has changed. From the original layout to what it is now. You've got the slow corners have gone from the end of sector 1, start of sector 2, and the same again, obviously, from the triple chicane. It's again a nice flowing 180-degree left-hander, so it is definitely a lot more flowing. You still have the stadium section, obviously, but again, even that has been changed itself. So the track is definitely more fast-flowing. It promotes overtaking and more close racing.
Which is exactly what you want. It had a a fair few years of being maybe a little bit stale, but it really did heat up when they had the changes to the track to Liam Hardman, then a little bit deep and into turn 6, and maybe a little bit caught off guard. I don't know, maybe too much rear brake pressure. I'm not sure why he went into the corner like that one. Only he could tell us that. But round turn 9.
I think what Liam is on an in lap.
Is that why he's going so slow?
Yes. Yes, as I was just on board with Venom, who was 3/10 up actually, and has now just gone wide at the stadium section, so he's just absolutely blown that lap time. Teammate Elite Risk has decided he wants to go Tokyo drifting into the start of the stadium section, so what was looking at a potential decent second run there for Team Shizou, both drivers making mistakes.
Yeah, he's in the wrong continent for Tokyo drifting, but you wouldn't even want to do that at Suzuka, let alone Abu Dhabi. But I believe Hops might be the first driver on outlaps to go again. 6.5 minutes left of qualifying. It's interesting to see how these will pan out, really, because mistakes are creeping in, and just like that, Hops has gone wide at the exit of turn 15. Thankfully, hasn't invalidated the lap he's just about to start, but it could do, couldn't it? And then all of a sudden you're on the back foot, and if you do that on your final run, ooh.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. As I don't know if you saw what I saw. I don't know if Hops had a little twitch or something there through turn 3, but he is just over half a tenth up at the end of the first sector now, coming down the first DRS straight. 22.2 obviously currently moment, 4/10 off Quantum's time, but I think Hops can do this. I think he actually can get up there as the second quickest.
Let's see how he will pan out. I think at the no times obviously being set, and I will throw the lovely spreadsheet that is up after round 1 of all this. But yeah, Quantum doing a really good job at the moment, holding off everyone else. But Hops is looking quick. He's up on his lap time again, but under a tenth of a second. But should be enough with everyone else's times to make an indent maybe into the top 2.
For sure, yeah. I think he had time to gain in his final sector as one of the PGR cars gets out of his way this time, and he's not distracted by their ghost car. But yeah, through the last couple of corners now, into the final corner here for Hops. Runs right onto the white line there and finds a tiny bit more time in that final sector. Improves to a 0.1, but stays in P... Actually, no, it goes up into P3, sorry. Goes ahead of flow. Yeah,
nice for Hops. It's doing the job at the moment. Blunty was up on his lap time. Let's see what he can do. Round the final corner now. Pushing to the limits, but not over it. Up into 4th place. Pretty decent there for him as well. His flow invalidated. He has. Jacob, are you on a lap time? I think he is, as he heads on through into turn 9 now, and there is could that be Zinks just ahead of him? I think it is. Might very well be on a lap time as well, or is he in this lap?
Is, yes, but he is down on his time. He's 800s down. I was just going to say, actually, with Hops and Blunty 3rd and 4th, and there's less than 200 between them, that's what you want as a team, is consistency in your 2 drivers setting good lap times, and within close proximity of each other.
Definitely. Back end slips out for Jacob, and I wonder if that would have been a better lap. Well, it would have been a better lap time than it is, because it's a 1:21.999. But that back end slip out, I wonder if it was going to catch him a little bit more up the field. Is Flo going in? He is. Elite Risks. He's invalidated.
Quantum is 3/4 of a tenth up on his PB. It looked like he went wide there, but got away with it. But he lost all the time in the final sector, so no improvement for Quantum. It could have been a 0.7 there for the PGR man, but I don't know if he's got time now to get back to the pits and get out again. That might be him finished.
Is that beatable? I guess is the best way to describe it. Let's go on board.
Yes. That time is beatable, yes, without a doubt. I mean, like I said, when I was on board with Venom earlier, he was 3/10 up at his time before, as he finished the middle sector. I think he could definitely find a time in there. Elite Risk is actually out on track, but he has invalidated once. Well, this is invalidated on this particular run, but he is at least back into the pits now, so he should be able to get back out again. But it's I won't lie, I'm a little bit nervous at the moment for my own team.
It's a little bit nail biting, isn't it? Especially trying to be impartial, but at the same time,
Yes.
you've got to support your team as well, and I completely
Without a
understand
doubt, yes.
that. But Liam Hardman, Venom, and Finn Bob all getting involved, back on track now, and Elite Risks. He's surely got to come out. He's definitely got to set a lap time, a better lap time than that, or otherwise things will really start to look a little bit more daunting for Shizou. I am just trying to find the PC times. Obviously, 20 qualifying time, I think, was a 21.9 and for their first driver and a 22.5 for their second driver. That's the sort of times these guys, I think, should be looking at getting.
Yeah, like I said, I think as long as you can get into the 21s, I think you should be fairly comfortable. Obviously we've got 2 drivers in this lobby who currently have that, with obviously everyone's still got 1 run to go, of which I believe it is going to be Liam Hardman will be the first of them to finish their final runs. But yes, as I predicted, so Quantum and Jacob are done. They will not come out again. So that is them finished. So it's down to the remaining 8 drivers to see what they can do. And
it is, well, as you mentioned, Liam Hardman to go first. It looks like Jacob's car is actually leaving the garage. I don't think he's got enough time to do...
No, he hasn't. No. I don't know why he's coming out on track.
He can't even give a slipstream boost, and I'm not sure why he would come out, but maybe he just wants a little bit of fun with 55 seconds to go. Liam Hardman then, the first of these runners. Oh, and the back end is stepping out horrendously for Liam Hardman there, and that's going to cost him massively, and I think it could put them under pressure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Jacobs has put the lap in. He's just squeezed into the 21s. But Liam, he's not even improving on this lap at the moment. Half a tenth down, pretty much, as he starts the final sector. So everything to play for here for Liam Hardman. Can he find a load of time? That's the question. I don't know if he can.
I think the majority of his time was lost in that turn 6 and 7 part of sector 2, and you can lose an awful lot of time there. But I don't think it's going to be anywhere near enough for him to get anywhere up. It is slightly quicker, but not enough, and that is problematic for Shizou because Elite Risks has retired.
He has, but the plus point is Venom is up on his time. This has been a decent lap, and there we go, P2 for Venom with a 21.9. So at least I'd like to say that he's actually set a decent representative lap time. But Zinx Motion there not improving himself. Flo coming to the line now, 2/10 up, and he now goes into P3 and another with a 0.9 himself, which just leaves Hops and Blunty.
This is going to be interesting to see what these two can do. They've been very similar on pace through it all, and Hops is, well, that's down on his lap time. I think that could have thrown him above Finn Bob and possibly Jacob if he hadn't have made that big, tank slapper at the end there. But let's see what Blunty can do. Can he put a little bit of extra pace on? And he does exactly the same.
Carbon copy. Whatever you can do, I can do better.
I don't think I've ever seen that in
no.
2 teammates do exactly the same thing. But wow, that's those guys in and dusted. Liam Hardman is, I'm guessing, just going through the motions to get back to the pits. And hopefully we'll see the points up very soon, as I'll keep it on the stream just a little bit longer for the guys working behind the scenes tirelessly to make these streams work absolutely brilliantly, as it's now disappeared. But I say impressed. Are you suitably impressed with Shizou and how they handled themselves today?
Well, thankfully Venom got a decent time at the end there, but I am still slightly nervous with obviously with Elite Risk being half a second off him, because if you look at a cumulative aspect here, Hops and Blunty have a better cumulative compared to Venom and Elite Risk. And that's just based off maths off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean. It's all good if you need both drivers within your team to set good lap times. PGR have done that with Quantum and Flow within a tenth half of each other. They're through. They are, I would say that's them done. They can, they can see themselves into, into the next season of CSS. But for quite a lot of these teams in this lobby, it's going to be nail biting, and wait and see, I guess.
It's going to be, I think, nail biting. Oh, this is the screen that I wanted to go on. It's going to be nail biting for everyone, I think. Obviously, we're pretty certain PGR are through. I mean, actually, I think it's impossible for them not to be through, as I just try and get this up on the screen properly for everyone to see, and actually get the Xbox side. That would help. That's how things start. We've still got 2 more rounds to go. But PGR, CRE, Shazoo, BRT and TIR are in the danger zones. They're in the danger zones for the time being. So
yes,
I can see Shazoo doing okay. I think it would take a lot for them to be relegated.
To not make it.
Yeah.
I would agree with you on that, but obviously the times have actually already been put in, so very quick work done there. So obviously, PGR have got 5.5 tenth gap over CRE. So this is what I was on about: 2 drivers with similar lap times, and they're currently second quickest overall, and are a few hundredths ahead of Shazoo, who are the 3rd fastest team. And then you have BRT and TIR, but obviously we still have 8 more teams to come. So in that case, we can already say at this point that PGR and CRE have made the main show.
Yes, definitely, and that's actually, we'll go back to the qualifiers look, and that's exactly great. I don't know, I'm not sure if you've got access to this spreadsheet. Did you have access to this spreadsheet? Yeah, you do. That's
I certainly do.
So looking back at the Xbox side of things, and it looks really, really good. Showing for PGR I'm guessing TTM is still the team to beat out of the Xbox teams.
I would say, obviously, with NVR shutting down, but quite a number of their drivers have gone to PGR. I would say it's between. I don't want to run off my own team, obviously, but there are quite a lot of these teams are quite similar, or at least very close. So I would say you've got TTM, PGR now, Shazoo. You can't even discount FRT. So there are quite there's a lot of teams, you can easily say. It just comes down to the individual driver on the day, or drivers.
Fair enough. We're going to wait for our next invite, I guess, for the Xbox side of things, which will be AERT Jake, I believe. He'll be hosting that one. So the next lobby, let's go back. Actually, shall we talk about the calendar? Let's talk about the calendar that we've got here for CSS. And it's a jam-packed 12 rounds, some really great tracks here. I'm still not sold on Las Vegas myself, but it can produce some good racing. I like the fact that there's 2 mystery rounds here.
That's definitely a new twist in for this season, and you'd have thought 1's enough, but the fact that we've got 2 in there really does kind of open up a can of worms, you could say, and you don't know as to what we're then going to expect. But obviously, we do have quite a few classics, and obviously we've got Silverstone as the first race of the season, which who doesn't love Silverstone? You cannot go against that. Obviously we've got Monza. It's Imola. Sorry, not Monza. Jeddah's not a personal favourite of mine, but that's going to be me being biased. But no, on the whole, I think it is actually quite an interesting calendar.
Yeah, I mean, I've already mentioned Las Vegas, but everything else, there's a mixture of high speed technical tracks, street tracks. Saudi Arabia I don't think I've had a race at Saudi Arabia where I've not enjoyed it, but from a commentary point of view, but there's always been something there to go through. I suppose, chat, let us know who you think is going to be finishing on top and who's going to finish in the relegated places, I guess you could call it. Not like it's the Premiership or anything, but yeah, let us know. It'd be great to hear your thoughts through it all as we, I think, are getting ready to go into this next lobby. Bob, us out of the next four teams. Who do you think is going to be the ones to really watch for?
TTM without a doubt here, really. And well, we got sort of an interesting lineup with them. Obviously, we have the returning Placky, who everybody knows. He's been around for quite some time now. Has plus Placky, but the fairly new recruit of who's not changed his gamer tag as of yet, but Gergo, formerly of AMS.
Yeah, and I had to double check with Ace beforehand, and I was like, is he not meant to be in the AMS tier? But obviously, I'm just going through that. But so obviously, the teams here in round 2, or the second lobby, I should say, are AMS, and that's AMS Rambo and AMS Knight. TTM, which is TTM Placky and AMS Gergo, as we've mentioned. XPG, we see Bourbon Boy and XPG Flame, and then EVR, AERT Jake, and Bill Maritz. I definitely murdered that name, so I do apologise.
I think it's Beal Marty.
Beal Marty. We'll go with that. Yeah. Apologies. Please don't hate me. But yeah,
How can we hate you?
Some interesting names through there. Bourbon Boy has shown some pace in the past as well. But yeah, TTM Placky's been around for so long. I would be surprised if he doesn't set a really solid lap time tonight.
Oh yeah, I expect Placky to. Well, I'll be honest. I expect Placky to probably be the quickest in this lobby, probably closely followed by his teammate of Gergo. Excuse me, I'm about to cough because of my throat. But yeah, no, I expect ETM to be very comfortable in this. Well, not just this lobby, but in terms of the qualification aspect itself. But again, as proved in the first lobby, anything can happen, and you got to make sure that not just one but both drivers set representative lap times.
Definitely. Let's go back just to, and it really annoys me that I have to do this every single time to make sure it works, and get the Xbox side back up. But just to remind ourselves of the situation we are in, PGR and CRE are guaranteed, unless there is some major penalties that they've done something horrendously wrong, they are through. And that is credit to the work that, or the good qualify. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe the good race pace or the qualifying pace between Hops and Blunty. They were so consistent with each other that helped.
Oh yeah, for sure. And well, either of them, if not both of them, actually could have improved on their final runs as well, which would have made it would have made it a bit easier for them because they'd have been through either way. But well, in the end, they got the job done. Both sets in very similar, if not the same, lap time. So, and as I've touched on, that's what it takes to to qualify for these events. So they can hold their heads up high, and they can relax now. They don't have to worry about it, and they can just enjoy the rest of the night. Definitely.
And I know the Olympics is on, but I didn't realise it was synchronised spinning at the final corner of Abu Dhabi. But yeah, we're waiting for the lobby to really kick going for round 2 of this. And I quite like this as a qualifying event. This is quite nice. Just one shot, not one shot quali, short quali after short quali after short quali. It makes it run quite smoothly for these guys. And I think, the final four teams, there's a lot of pressure on them because they've seen everyone else do their times and they're like, we've got to match that now.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I suppose it depends on who you are, because some people like to go last and think, right, we now know what we need to do to ensure that we qualify for the for the main season. But at the same time, it can also put more pressure on you, because you then know that if you don't do that, or if you haven't got that sort of decent time early enough in your session, it puts more pressure on as the time goes by and the session clicks on.
Right, let's go trackside and see if anyone's decided to go out. Not yet. They are, being quite reserved in comparison to Lobby 1 tonight. And I think we are finally going to see a car pop out. And could that be Bourbon Boy deciding to go? It will be interesting to see. There are a couple of guys coming out now. And You've mentioned TTM Placky, probably going to be the driver that is going to be the fastest tonight. Is there anyone else that you could think that is going to challenge him?
As in this lobby, like I said, I think potentially would maybe only be his teammate of Gergo. As for the final lobby, I'm not entirely sure, if I'm brutally honest. Maybe one of the FRT boys could do, because again, they've shown real, good pace on this on the new game. FRT have really actually stepped up, I think, on this new game. But again, expect the unexpected, and we'll just have to wait and see.
I think FRT, the team to beat, as someone said in the chat. That's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, we've got AMS Rambo is going to be the first driver to set a qualifying lap tonight. He's followed closely by Bourbon Boy, so he's going to want to start getting off very quickly down into turn 9. It's a very nice black and green liveried car, isn't it? I quite like it anyway. And I think Bourbon Boy is gone. No, I'm going to go set the first fastest lap, as long as he doesn't invalidate. And that's something that we didn't really see in Lobby 1, was too many invalidations. There was a few, but not too many. And this track can really heat up on invalidations.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, trying to think in terms of, certain corners in particular. I mean, not really so much through Sector 1, unless you really have a bit of a rear end snap at the end of turn 1. But really, I think it's that final sector coming through the hotel section where I think is, where most drivers could potentially lose their time. As Bourbon Boy now comes through turn 3 down the hill now. No idea who that is that's joined, but a 17.3 first sector is not too shabby.
He's gonna want to set it early, I think. Not let the pressure get to him. I'm saying from a commentary point of view, I would hate to be in their position, let's just say, because I would crack under the pressure. There's a reason why I stopped racing about 10 years ago. But Bourbon Boy's generally survived well under pressure from what I've seen in the past. So let's see what he can achieve this time. And as he heads on down into turn 9, and I know we've spoken about this corner already, but it is so much nicer being just, I think it needs just a little bit of a bank. I don't know, a bit like Zandvoort, maybe not as high as Zandvoort's, but just to give it a little bit more pace to it. But I think that has just made it so much smoother to drive on, as Bourbon Boy is doing a very good job of setting a very nice lap time at the moment.
Yeah, it's not been too bad, actually. It's been a good banker here from Bourbon Boy, actually, as he comes through the final corner now, keeps it well inside the track limits, and a 0.3 on his first attempt isn't too bad at all, actually. Definitely time there to be found, and just proven there as Rambo, 3/10 off him.
And Flame is, 23-1, which is not ideal for him as a banker lap, and Jake is popping into the pits. Gergo then. Jake must have been really unhappy with it at that time, but Gergo coming through into the final corner now. I thought that was going to be a very bit off the track there, but Gergo was unable to beat Bourbon Boy, but his teammate TTM Placky tops the timesheet.
As expected there, yeah. Not quite by a tenth of a second, but it certainly is enough for the time being, as the final driver to complete their initial run, AMS Knight for Team AMS, funny enough. Decent actually through the second sector in terms of split time, only a tenth down onto what Bourbon Boy had done, so this could be quite a decent time, and in fact goes ahead of Bourbon Boy into P2.
AMS Knight is, a very solid lap time from him, and done a very good job of getting that car up into that position. I'm just trying to think from memory what I think that's better than Shazu's second lap time, that 22.3. Not to rub it in your face.
It is. No. The top four times in this session is better than our second. Yes, our second time. Yeah.
So that is, that's a plus for them. They'll obviously want to go that next step and get into the 21.9s. Jake is going to be he's going to try and set a lap time. I'm not sure what. He didn't invalidate, so maybe he took a little bit of a spin. Maybe he was just not happy with how the lap had gone, but he's back out now to do a lap time. And, there's a little bit of pressure now on him. I mean, the further you go into qualifying without setting a lap time, the nerves surely have got to play a part?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. I mean, I know this from previous experience there, that if you don't set a time on your first or second run for that matter, then yeah, the nerves will kick in, the heart rate may start to increase, and you feel like then all the pressure is weighted on you because your teammate has potentially done their job, and they're then solely relying on yourself. So, I mean, maybe not so much at this particular point. You know, we've still got 12 minutes to go, and he's got potentially another 2 more runs after this one. But certainly, Jake would want to at least get a representative time on the board, which he can then look at to try and improve later on.
That is, well, yeah, and maybe he uses this as his. Well, he's got to be his banker, but then, yeah, maybe he only needs 2 laps. Who knows? We will wait and see. Bourbon Boy's not hanging around. He's gone straight back out to do another lap time, which indicates he's definitely pushing for four laps here. I think AMS Rambo, who may have made a little bit of mistake on his first run, is now going out again, as is XPG Flame. So XPG drivers at the moment, Bourbon Boy's the main one, but Flame 23-1 is definitely going to hurt. As
Indeed,
Jake is,
yeah, there was me talking about that potentially the only real spot to invalidate is the final sector, but I did mention about having a snap at turn 1 on the exit, and that's exactly what Jake has just done, and he's invalidated immediately, so he'll be coming straight back to the pits to try then to go again.
Yeah, he's. I think. Oh well, Zinc said in the chat he's explaining my situation. So Zinc's obviously not had in that first lobby, trying to get through for BRT, and BRT is that currently the second. Well, obviously there's 2 more lobbies to go, but that second bottom in that relegation zone, and Zinc, unfortunately for him, just struggled a little bit. But both BRT drivers would have wanted better than a 22-1 or a 22-4.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think I don't know exactly what sort of times they were doing, but yeah, they'd hoped to have at least, done enough to just qualify it, straight away and not have to wait for the 2 remaining lobbies. As Flame has actually now disconnected from the session, which is not ideal for XPG, and obviously with his teammate Bob Boy on his second flyer was about pretty much bang on level with his first sector of his first attempt. We'll want to hope that his teammate gets back in as soon as possible.
Especially with a 23-1 as the time represented alongside, because Bourbon Boy is slightly up on his lap time, but it's not going to be enough to displace the 23-1. Flame's back in the session, so that's good. Hopefully he can come out and do at least 1, maybe 2 laps as well. Gergo is, I believe, just behind Bourbon Boy. So let's see as they head into Bourbon Boy heads into turn 15 and 16. And across the line, it's again wide, and he's invalidated.
Oh.
And he would have been up on his lap time, but enough to take night, but that's about it.
Indeed. Well, I mean, it would have been it at least meant that he could, he's done his job as such per se, but obviously now he's going to have to wait a bit longer as AMS Rambo now coming through the final corner. Can he keep it within track limits? The answer is yes, but he's 3/10 down his time, so no improvement there for the second AMS driver, as his former teammate of Gergo, the next driver to come and finish their lap, only 400s up after the first 2 sectors.
Yeah, it's looking like the track hasn't bedded to them nicely at the moment, or they're holding stuff back, and Gergo maybe is holding something back because he's throwing himself into the pits. Once I sort my teeth out, I'll be able to talk properly. But Bale Marty then, as coming through Sector 2 now, and down the second of the back straights with a little bit of a curvature to it, and into turn 9. He's was a little bit down as his time, but he's now 4/10 down, and that is impressive in Sector 2 to be 4/10 up.
Indeed it is, yeah, and that's going to put him amongst the likes of Knight, Bourbon and Gergo at the moment, so this will really help, obviously with Jake, on another outlet, but if Marty can at least get a decent time on the board, it gives Jake something to aim for, to try, to match him with his teammate. Round the final corner he comes, keeps it within the track limit, and it's a 22.3 dead, a good lap time there for Marty.
That's definitely what they needed, and TTM Blackie just proving a point, going that little bit quicker, 22-1, 22-1. There was just too many twos in that one. A 122, 122.
122.122.
Oh, goodness me.
Confuse us more, please.
So, Jake, can you do it this time around? Flame's just ahead, but I'm going to stay, maybe add a little bit more pressure on Jake by watching him as well. I know in the past when I've watched drivers and they've gone, I've said they're definitely not going to, or that what they don't need is a penalty, and they end up getting a penalty. I think Tom Manley was one of those in Mexico on WR season 12. But that is testing my memory banks a little bit. But through turn number 5 and down the back straight for hopefully his first lap time set. Jake, there's definitely pressure now with just over 6.5 minutes remaining.
Definitely, yeah. The only good thing I can say, at least, is that by the time both of these drivers finish their laps, they should get back and do a final run. So they will have one more opportunity after this run, as Flame coming to the end of sector 2 and is actually down on his best time, so not the best there from Flame at the moment.
Not ideal, and looks a little bit wide through turn 9 for AERT Jake. I'm just going to call him Jake. And it's a little bit of maybe a sign of things to come for AERT for Jake. But Marty's lap time is pretty solid, which should help Jake through a little bit. And he's invalidated. He's gone wide, and that is not ideal. Flame's gone a bit quicker than his last lap, but Jake 3 times, 3 invalidations.
Which then this is just going to pile the pressure on him to get a good last attempt in, or else then, if he doesn't get a lap time in at all, it's game over. Doesn't matter what Marty's done, it's game over.
Yeah, it's all about setting a lap time now for Jake. It's just what he's got to do, and it's so unfortunate. But Gergo was up on his lap time by 1.5 tenths. No, yeah, I can't even remember what I saw now, but he was up on his lap time, and he's currently P5 with a 22.3. Let's see if he can continue that as he heads on to sector 3 and turn 9.
Indeed, yeah, and he does remain that 10.5 up at the moment. I don't think he'll be enough to put, even with a good last sector. He probably won't go ahead of his teammate, but if he can get into that second place, then that pretty much will secure TTM spot into the main show. In through the final sector, just has a couple of corners to go here for Gergo. Can he just keep it within the track limits through the final corner, which is proving a little difficult for drivers? No such problem there for Gergo. And it's a 22.2, and that seals it for TTM. That is them through. Yeah,
solid for those guys. And let's see, who is Knight? Is he on our lap time next?
He is.
I thought it was the final throws, but there's still 4:20 go. There's still lots of time for some of these drivers to go back to go out. BL being one of them, Marty. He's going out. He's going to see what he can do, and that's all he can do, isn't it? In this team event, is if you do your side in the garage, that's fine.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you'd hope that your teammate would, be able to do something as well. But yeah, at least Marty, he can say is that as long as he's done his job, then he can say that he's done everything that he can. As Knight comes through the final corner, bit of a wobble there, and improves by 1 millisecond in the end.
Oh wow. That last corner is really proving to be a little bit tricky for some of these guys. We saw the synchronized CRE guys on their final lap, and now MS Knight then struggling a little bit. Marty, though, is just about to start his lap time, and I think that's Bourbon Boy heading out of the pits. He's going for one more. Flame will have to go for one more as well, because XPG are in trouble.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, not as much compared to as Marty is actually invalidated. So that's and he's actually still deploying. So that is him done. He's now got to hope that Jake can set a representative lap time. But yeah, XPG obviously, yeah, Bourbon Boy with a 0.3 isn't too bad. We'll probably want to find another tenth or two there, but it's down to Flame realistically. Only on a 22.9, he's got to probably find at least half a second.
Yeah, and if you were Marty, would you stop deploying, still go a little bit on the tyres, but then do a second run, do like a second warm-up lap. But
I mean, I'd have thought that's what he was going to do, but obviously he's just he's not doing that, and he's actually a 10th down on his best time, and I think he's just going to finish his lap for fun, really.
unless he's desperate to get, unless he's pushing to get into the pits, but that I feel would be pointless because there's no way.
It's pointless because there's only just over 2 minutes to go. He's got to be that's Marty finished. So it is all down to his teammate of Jake and as to can he set a clean lap time.
Well, time will tell on that one. It is going to be Bourbon Boy, and I think Marty is desperately trying to get another set of tyres on. I don't think it's going to be possible, but we'll wait and see to see if that car will come out. Bourbon Boy then to set a lap. His final one, he's got to do what we said Jake's got to do and just do what he can do on his side of the garage for XPG.
Exactly, as he comes through turn 1, actually deploys a bit of overtake at the exit of turn 1. That's quite interesting, actually. Personally, if it was me, I wouldn't have done that. But, that each to their own. Coming down the hill, let's see if he improves. And he's 8 milliseconds down, so not really... It's not the worst first sector, I guess you could ask for, as long as you can gain some time through the middle and final sector. Activating the DRS now and coming down into the chicane. Can Bourbon Boy find the time he needs? Well,
head into turn 6, and this is the only place on the track you can, or on sector 2, that you can lose time, and it looks like it's pretty dead on for Bourbon Boy. No major mistakes through turn 6 or 7. No hints of or bits of oversteer, and he is up on his lap time. That could be crucial, hitting a 1:22.2.
Indeed it can be. I'm just quickly flicking through Jake and XPG. Jake is still on a valid lap time, as is Flame. And in fact, Jake actually did a very good sector 1, so maybe all is not lost as of yet, but that could be a commentator's curse.
That definitely could be a commentator's curse. I think we've done that tonight without even realising. But Bourbon Boy round the final corner. He's not taken too much curb on the outside. It's a 22.1. That's a very, very good lap time from Bourbon Boy to set himself through. Who is next?
I tell you what, Jake is on a good lap here. 52.3 middle sector split. If he can keep this up, I think actually he might be able to sneak. Oh, and he's gone and outbroke himself. Into the right. There's the commentator's curse.
Oh goodness me! Oh goodness me! It's surely still going to be enough to set a lap time though. He hasn't invalidated, which is good. I think Placky's going over the line now. I don't think he's improved, but there is at least a lap time on the board for Jake. But it's not going to be good. It's a 1:22.8. Flame is across the line. It's improvement to a 22.5.
Yes, it's 4/10. I think XPG might have done enough.
Ooh, time will tell. Placky goes a tiny little bit quicker. I think that's 200th of a second. Rambo's invalidated. That's going to be problematic. Is Gergo still on a lap time? I think TTM are through. Gergo's not exactly set the world alight with this lap time, but it looks like it won't matter because that should be TTM through.
It should be, yes, but well, unfortunately, like I said, I think I've played the commentator's curse there for Jake. It was looking so good through the first 2 sectors, and then going down into the start of the stadium the hotel section, he just outbroke himself into the right-hander, and could that potentially cost him and his team a place into next season?
It could indeed, and that is your top 8 for this lobby, this qualifying section of it. Placky, Bourbon Boy, Gergo, Marty, AMS Knight, Flame, Rambo and Jake. Let's have a look at the qualifying section, and look at that, Shazura out of the bottom 3.
Yep, that's thankfully, that's I can breathe a sigh of relief somewhat, and I mean, it wasn't easy, but they've managed to get the job done. But obviously, the times are being put in, and now obviously you can see that. So you got XPG, AMS, and EVR down at the bottom. Obviously, EVR being the team that Jake is in, I think he lost a good 4-5 tenths, which is currently the difference between them making it and not making it.
Yeah, and that's crucial. He's going to be absolutely gutted with himself through that, and. Yeah, not not ideal. AMS are in there as well. That's. I thought they would have done enough, but obviously that 22-6 from, Rambo, who couldn't improve on his final lap. Problematic for AMS. They're in trouble, I think.
Yeah, quite. Yeah, it is likely that they are. That they are actually in trouble here. And well, all we need to keep an eye out basically is if drivers do, any better than a 22.3, cumulative, then that's their team through. However, the one thing that I have just noticed is IFE have a half-second penalty before starting this, and I'm not sure why.
I believe it was late driver announcements to CSS, which is not ideal to put yourself in that sort of position before you even put a car on the track.
Excuse me. No, it's definitely not ideal. It might actually hamper IFE's chances on getting through. Excuse me, but for the likes of PGR, TTM, CRE, Shazoo, BRT, and TIR, they are all safely through. They can put their feet up and can just watch the final session now to see how the remaining 4 teams do, which are FRT, FGE, ILD, and IFE. And if any of the 3 teams in the current drop zone, as we'll say, will get out of it.
So, yeah, FRT is FRT Dan and Supply Raptor. FGE is SLR Medal and Simba Roxon. I hope I got that right.
Simba Rox 1. Simba Rox 1.
Simba Rox 1. I was close. IRT Sabuka and IRT Dilemma. Oh my goodness, my are the ILD teams. My I can't even think of the word. Dyslexia is really kicking in. I'm not even writing, for goodness sake. IFE are Raza Game HD and Nail Guat. That again, I butchered names tonight. Let me know. Voice message me on Discord if you need me to say it properly. But yeah, wow. FRT to come through on this one?
Oh yeah, I don't see any reason as to why not. And to be honest, I think I would not easily or happily say, but I think FGE should also get through. I mean, I've raced with Simbarox 1 on quite a number of occasions, and he is a very good driver. So I don't see why not. Obviously, you have to see what Medal can do, as well as. But I mean, anything can happen. But I'm kind of half thinking here: is it not FRT Harvey that's doing this for FRT, or has their lineup changed?
Yeah, that's a very good point, because FRT Harvey is here, and FRT Dan is not. So I've looked.
So reserving on this, maybe Harvey's substituting in potentially.
That's a very good point, and I may have looked at the wrong slight bit of information, but that's fine. It's an FRT driver. That's all that matters. Hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully. But yeah.
Oh well, there's Dan.
Okay. So is it supply?
Oh right. Okay. So Ace is just. Harvey's not driving. He's just hosting the lobby.
Right.
That's. I'm being tagged in a number of things here. So Harvey's just hosting the lobby. He's not driving, so he is a reserve, but he's not doing it. And the reason why IFE have got a penalty is because they failed to mention gamer tags.
There we go. I knew it was something to do with gamer tags or driver being released or what, but yeah, there's I mean, in the chat it's a couple of people happy that they're through. Flame is pretty confident that XPG are through, and I think he should be right with that, but the cumulative time is only 0.25. I mean, it's possible for IFE to pull something special out of the bag, And you know what? It would be incredible to see if it was.
I mean, if they could, it would kind of like be a Christmas miracle near enough. But I think, to be honest, I think XPG should, even though they are in the drop zone, and unless they have a penalty of some form coming their way, which I don't think I saw them do anything wrong, then I would probably say that they should make it through. But again, any stupider things have happened. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, we will indeed, as we wait for the drivers to get into the lobby. And with that, we'll have another look at the calendar for the people that have turned up a little bit later on. Obviously, tonight it's a qualifying, and we are at Abu Dhabi for all of our free lobbies tonight for the qualifying of CSS's Season 4. The races will start at Silverstone in the second week of August. So Britain, what a way to start. I know we just going back over stuff we've already said, but what a way to start a season off at Silverstone. Loved by so many people.
Oh yeah, I mean, Silverstone has got to, well, for me at least anyway, is up there as one of the best circuits, not only on this game but also in real life. It's you've got the technical section, sector 1, the fast-flowing middle sector, especially going through Corpse, Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel, and even into Stowe, and then you've still got the technical section coming through Vale. So it's fantastic track in Silverstone. I was there actually earlier this month, watching it in real life, which was my third time going, and a fantastic experience once again.
To say that I am jealous is an understatement, but hopefully, I mean, I want to go to the one that's directly underneath that, which is round 7. I'd love to head to Spa-Francorchamps.
Yes. That's one for me as well.
I mean, the racing may not be as good as it used to be. Actually, I think after this weekend's race, that's a lie. But it's still just an experience, I think. It's the same with the Hungary Grand Prix. I'd quite like to go to that one as well. But there's 2 mystery tracks as well. We don't know what they are. We won't know until pretty much, much closer to the time of racing, which is quite a nice little bit of intrigue for the drivers. They don't know what to practice.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I swear, though, if Ace decides to do Monaco as one of those, I think he's going to be getting a lot of hate. But all we can do is wait and see. It will be interesting to see what is chosen and how it's chosen, unless it's either if it's his choice or if it's a team vote or a manager's choice or something. I don't know how it's going to be done.
That is that is an interesting point. You know what? He could throw a real curveball. Both of them are Monaco. Who knows? If if that happens, please don't hate me, everyone, because I've put a jinx on it. I don't. I don't know what they are, so it's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, we're waiting for the guys to hit up ready on the lobby. We'll go back to just show you the state of play here for the qualifiers for Season 4 of CSS. And at the moment, PGR are the team to beat from Lobby 1. They were the one that set the best lap time for both drivers. The only team so far to enter the 21s.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. I think, after seeing both of their drivers doing those lap times, obviously they were and are the team to beat. I mean, obviously, TTM have made it through comfortably, but both of their drivers only into the low 22s. And obviously that gap is actually shown even on the cumulative time aspects that they've done. And it just shows how good a job that PGR have done. But the thing is, qualifying into it is one thing, but then you've still got the 12-round season, and you've got to do it for each and every single round, and not just for qualifying, but the race itself. So, this is step 1 done, boxes ticked, but there's still another 12 boxes to tick.
Yeah, that's the main thing, is getting those boxes ticked, done and dusted. Let's have a look as we are on track now. But interestingly, PlayStation side of things, 8 of their... Is it 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I really need to learn to count. 6 of those teams all managed to get into the 21 times. we've not seen that on Xbox yet.
Yeah, we've not seen it yet. I mean, there is still time, and we still have 4 more teams here that potentially, could do that. But time will certainly tell, as everyone is now decided to come out onto track. Excuse me, and well, let's see what we're going to be in witness to. But why am I seeing 3 people, 3 teams? Oh, no, 2 of the teams have got similar colours on, which is kind of what was confusing me a little bit there.
Yeah, there's like a bronzy colour and an orangey colour, and then there's the yellow colour and a yellow colour, I guess. I don't 100%. Oh, goodness, yeah, this is going to be interesting.
FRT have really gone with the safety car colour here.
Yeah. Good old FRT. And now that's why it's confusing, because Harvey's car, I thought there was further yellows. So this is really going to make things interesting. But IRT is, well, it looks like Sabuka is going to be the first driver to set a lap time if they keep a car on the track and between the white lines. That is the track limits. You don't want to go over those, or otherwise you get invalidation, which we've seen quite a lot in that second lobby. First lobby, not so much, but that second lobby was a little bit more problematic.
Yeah, indeed it was, especially for a couple of drivers in particular. So hopefully everybody in this lobby can keep it within the white lines. But here we go, Sabuka, the first driver to set a lap time. And do you know what? I do quite like that livery, actually. I must admit, that's actually quite nice. It's kind of gone with that tiger stripe sort of effect.
Yeah, I do as well. It's looking at from a back end is very tigery, but when you look at it at the front, it's kind of got a different style, which, yeah, it's quite nice. It's a optical illusion kind of style, which is fair play for their team, and hopefully we get to see them in the season. But down the first straight, the first of the back straights for the first time of qualifying for Sabuka, it's looking pretty standard at the moment. Nothing to write home about, but nothing to say that it's a bad lap either.
No, definitely not. I mean, I think out of the first 2 sectors, we should be looking at a 52.4 is what a good sort of representative banker is at the moment, and Sabuka actually a 52.3. So far, so good here for Sabuka. It's looking quite good at the moment. Obviously, we're going into the technical section now. Heavy on the brakes here into the first of the right-handers. You can easily just run the car wide out here, as proven in the previous lobby. But no such problem there for Sabuka. Coming through the left-handers now. 2 more corners to go of what has been actually a very, very good lap.
Yeah, and through the final corner and across the line for Sabuka, what are they going to be? It's a 22.3, very similar to what Bourbon Boy set off with beginning as well. That's a very, very decent lap time to start your bankers off with, as Medal is coming across the line now for the FGEs. What can they do? And is it going to be better? It's not. It's a 22.6 for Medal, which he's probably not going to be too happy with. Then it's Simvarox one, and across the line, quicker than his teammate, but not enough to displace.
No, but Raza is invalidated, unfortunately, in his first attempt. His teammate, though, has not invalidated. Now coming through the final corner, a bit of a loss of traction on the eggs here, but a 0.5 there for now, so a decent first attempt. We'll probably want to look for more, but here come the FRT boys. Dan, the first of the 2 FRT drivers, I expect him to go to the top, and immediately a 21.8.
Yeah, that is, well, we've been missing 21s, and the FRT Dan has proven to throw that through. Supply Raptor across the line, and it's up to P3, a 22.4, and I'm pretty certain with that...
That's FRT through.
That's FRT through.
That is FRT through. Doesn't matter what they do now. That's it. I mean, you've just got to be quicker than a 22.3 cumulative time. So FRT have booked their place already. But what they'll want to do, though, is they'll still want to improve on their times, because they'll want to be towards the top of the top qualifiers, because they could get car preference if, obviously, the multiplayer aspect of cars, so the equal car aspect gets sorted.
Don't hold your breath on that one.
No, I know, yes.
I suppose we'll just wait and see for these drivers to come through. But it's a pretty solid start for FRT, exactly what they would have wanted. And it's only a small bit of time off the PGR's quickest time, which was a 21.806. I can't remember which driver set that one.
It was Quantum. Quantum that said that time, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm guessing FRT Town will want to go quicker than that. just to, well, not only the possibility of car preference, but also the just a little bit of, I don't know, getting in the heads of other drivers and other teams.
Yeah, I don't want to say maybe the ego aspect of it, but maybe just to get one over of another team and say that yes, I had the quickest time here, in this, come catch me, come beat me, sort of thing. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's certainly the quickest banker lap time that we've seen. And there's definitely time, Dan could certainly go quicker, but at least now all the pressure is taken off them. It doesn't matter what they do. They can just now go out for the final 12 minutes and they don't have to care what happens.
Yeah, and having that pressure off is really nice. In some respects, having that pressure off means you can go even quicker still, because you're just driving at your own way instead of thinking about everything you have to do. Get the corner right here, get the corner right. Instead of thinking about it, you just instinctively do it. And hopefully, well, for an FRT perspective, hopefully that's what will happen, and they'll, just show a little bit of dominance in the qualifiers.
Exactly. Yes. So yeah. Well, let's see if Dan can actually. Supply Raptor will certainly want to go quicker so he can get closer to his teammates. But on board here with Raza, who was the only driver not to set a valid lap time on their first attempt. Set 0.3 first sector, which is kind of where you want to be, isn't really using the whole of the track in terms of going as far to the left or to the right to then turn in. So certainly an interesting sort of tactic here from Raza, but let's see if he can get closer towards his teammates.
Yeah, as he heads into turn 9, well, we don't have a sector time because he didn't set we don't have a purple up or down because he didn't set a lap time before, but it will be interesting to see how he handles this final sector, the more technical side of the sector, the track. From the entry of turn 9, there's so many corners, but he has invalidated. So back into the pits for Raza.
Yes, and that's obviously kind of do what Jake did in the second lobby, and well, that's his first 2 attempts, and it's 2 invalidations. But I think Sabuka is medals only just started. So yes, Sabuka on his second attempt now, P2 after the first runs, but he's a 10th and a half down. So I probably think that he'd come back into the pits.
Yeah, I don't think he. Yeah, it's a lot of red light flashing at the back there, and also it just doesn't sound like the F1 car at full pace as he's coming through this sector. And there's the invalidation to go along with it as well. So medal, I think possibly.
Yes, medal is the next drive. Yeah, he was a quarter of a second up after the first sector, nearly 3/10 up now come the end of the second sector. So it's a good second attempt here so far from medal, but still has the final technical section to go. But if he can, get into that 0.3 area, and his teammate Simbarox 1 can do the same, then FGE can then pretty much sort of say that they can put their feet up.
Yeah, and that's kind of what these guys need to do. And you mentioned it earlier on through the stream that the pressure sometimes is off them up into 23.3. That's exactly what kind of he needed to do. The pressure's kind of off them. If you set your lap times at this late stage, you know what you've got to beat.
Yeah, exactly. And excuse me, try not to cough once again. My throat is really, it's not even because so much of this is because of what I've got. But Simbarox 1 comes through the final corner. Only a 0.4 for Simba Rox 1. So FGE not quite there yet for definite at the moment, but they're nearly there.
Yeah, it's close, and they've still got 8 minutes left of the session. 2 more runs, more than likely. Supply Raptor coming across the line. Is it going to be quicker? It is. It's a 22-1. And that is just cementing FRT's dominance in this lobby anyway.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've got a comfortable gap now, and I think actually at the moment this will put FRT second overall currently as it stands. They'll have gone ahead of TTM now with that improved lap time there from Supply Raptor, but still got a couple more attempts to find at least if they want to get ahead of PGR. But again, it's been fairly straightforward for them. Still, they can still keep put their feet up and yeah, relax.
Yeah, do what they need to do. Well, they've done what they need to do. They just do it a little bit, quieter maybe.
Yes.
Raza then is going to start his lap time, and well, for the third time, he's really got to get one on the board, or otherwise it's very similar to the Jake situation in Lobby 2. And he decided to go really slow at the exit of turn 9, slammed on his brakes, and then did a little bit of a wheel spin. So I'm not 100% sure what his plan was for that. Maybe just to get some more heat into the tyres. But it seems a bit of an odd strategy to take when you want your tyres to be as fresh as possible. But down the first part of the back straights we have here in Abu Dhabi into turn 6. Let's see how he handles. If there's any oversteer, understeer or sliding, it seems pretty standard, but he doesn't seem to be taking as much to curbs as other drivers.
No, and what caught me then was the fact that he actually put his deployment there into none, going down that first DRS straight. I've never seen that. I mean, yeah, you do that in the race, but not in qualifying. So I don't think he's really using his deployment here in the right areas. And a 53.1 after the middle sector is a good 6-7 tenths off as to where you want to be. But he's still obviously got this final sector to go through. Maybe he can claw back a little bit of time here. Just 2 corners to go now here for Raza. Can he just keep it clean through the final corner, at least set a lap time? The answer is yes, he will. But it's only a 22.9, so he's got a lot of time to find.
Yeah, that's not ideal at all. Sabuka is, slightly quicker on this lap, but not by much. They've got the ILD driver will want to go a little bit quicker, otherwise they're in danger of that bottom 3 drop. And I think AMS, XPG and EVR are all going to be watching this with bated breath to see if they will do anything.
Good
That's a wonderful third sector.
Yeah, cracking third sector there from Sabuka, getting to a 22 flat. He's done his job. It's now down to his teammate, who's just about to start his next run.
Yeah, and that's... I'm just trying to... I went on board with Anil Guet, and there was an invalidation there. Up on his lap time is FRT Dan, though, but only just, but enough to throw purple. And at the moment, I think he is going to be setting that just that little bit more. I think he wants to set the fastest lap of these qualifiers, which will probably give him a little bit of confidence and a little bit of, a nice little ego boost for him.
Yeah, without a doubt, yes. He just comes through the final corner now. What's actually been a good last sector. And, he's got a couple more hundreds to find, but he did find a little bit more time there through the final sector. But yeah, he's got to find 21 milliseconds to be quicker than Quantum now. And
down on his lap time is Medal. I think he could very well be... Oh, DRS is wide open. Is he on it? He is on a lap time, I think. So, down on his lap, and that's not ideal for Medal. He will want to be going a little bit quicker than that for the FGE guys. I'm just thinking to beat that drop, both of them want to find a 1/10 of a second, but he's still down on his lap time.
Yeah, I think Medal should probably just pit. I don't think he's going to find all that time and more in the final sector, but Simrock's one is about half a 10th up through the first sector compared to his best, so he is at least finding the time that he needs to find. Currently he is behind his teammates. He comes to the end of the second DRS straight and has lost a few hundreds actually, but he's still just about up, but he's going to need a mega last sector.
Let's see what he can do. His teammate invalidated and threw himself into the pits, into this technical tricky final sector here in Abu Dhabi under the hotel, and can he make sure he doesn't invalidate like his teammate did through that part? He's very nice and clean through there, using as much of the off parts of the track as he can, and through down the fast start finish straight. Is it going to be enough to do anything? It's not enough to beat his teammate, but he is quicker.
That actually has guaranteed FGE a place. Just because the current cumulative time to avoid the relegation zone is a 0.343. And they obviously Simrock's one has just done that with Medals 332. They have just done enough.
So that's two teams, safely through. It's now, oh goodness me, that has sent
IRT, and in particular, well, I say IRT because obviously it's Dilemma and Sabuka. Dilemma needs to find about a 1/10 of a second because of Sabuka's fantastic time. Dilemma just needs to find a 1/10 of a second.
Supply Raptor, is that damage? He was warming up his tyres and into turn 12, took a spin and hit the wall. I don't think it matters because it's FRT and they're through, but that's not ideal at all. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's all right. He's going for it, so I'm going to presume that he hasn't got any damage, or else he'd just boxed and called it a day.
We'll wait and see. But EVR effectively are out then, with 2 teams confirmed here. EVR out. Simbarox retired. Simbarox one has retired in the pit, so that's enough for him because they are through. Goodness me, AMS must be really, really nervous right now because, well, all it takes is, well, IRT Dilemma to get, what, 0.2 of a second, I think, 0.3 of a second, and AMS are out.
Yeah, indeed, and well, it's all to play for. You'd have thought, with less than a minute to go, would we be talking about any of these teams that could be sweating in the chairs or wherever they're sat, and indeed they are, and it is AMS at the moment who are sweating, but Supply Raptor is 0.5 up on his previous best time, apparently with a purple middle sector. If he has a good last sector here, because I think that's where a lot of his time is lost, he could actually go ahead of his teammates, which is, I know he's asking a lot, but coming through the final corner now, Supply Raptor for FRT, does he go ahead of his teammate? Not quite, but that's both drivers in the 0.8, and that is FRT with the best cumulative time.
Yeah, and that is exactly what was needed from them. Is that Dilemma on a lap time? Is he a purple? Well, okay, if you believe it, it's purple in sector 2, but it's it's only 0.1 of a second up.
That's enough, though. That is enough.
Ooh, yeah, it will be, won't it? Oh, goodness me. Oh, this is going to be tight. AMS could be in major trouble here. Will Dilemma cause AMS a dilemma down the start?
I knew that was coming.
And it's a 22.5. Oh, goodness me. Can Raza Gamer and Nail Guit produce something incredible? I guess.
Ooh,
actually,
medal with an improvement.
So that's good for not SLR. It's FGE. As the first of IFE's drivers is coming across the line. It's a 22.5, which I don't think is going to be enough.
Oh,
FRT just goes quicker still. Breaks Raptor's heart. And across the line for Raza Gamer, it was quicker. Very close to his teammate, but not enough, and especially with that penalty to boot. But FRT down, what a lap time, making sure that he was the quickest driver of the Xbox lobbies tonight.
Indeed, yeah, good final lap there from Dan. But also, I think more importantly, under pressure, a good final lap from Dilemma. Sabuka did improve at the end as well. He's done a 21.9, but he needed his teammate to ensure that he got that lap in. And even though he is 0.6 slower, it is enough.
Oh, goodness me. I wonder what AMS will be thinking right now as we're just seeing Raza Gamer coming through. That's got to be enough for XPG to get through as well.
I think the sheet is currently being updated as we speak.
Yeah, we will wait and see, and just give a final rundown of these orders from qualifying as I'm looking at the stats live, but FRT Dan and the FRT driver of Supply Raptor stealing the show in lobby 3. Sabuka medal, Simbarox 1, Nail Guit, Dilemma, Raza Gamer, and there's no Harvey because that's the thing. But I suppose we better go to this sheet and show everyone. AMS are Reserve 1. They're out. They're relegated.
Well, I have just noticed that FGE's time is not correct. They've gone a whole second quicker with medals time. So that needs to be changed.
Oh, okay.
Because FRT should be quickest. But yes, the main thing is those bottom 3 teams are correct, and AMS is the surprise package there, not making it through.
Well, I don't think anyone expected that either. But that's the thing. The poll said AMS 66% to be faster on average than EVR, which they are. But XPG are through. Look at that. That's a great time for them. And they will be happy with that. Over the moon, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And obviously XPG just getting in, and by just over a tenth of a second in the end. So well done to Flame and Bob, and to scraping through is one thing, but it doesn't matter. They've done what they needed to do, and they have made it in. And some interesting, obviously in terms of the order of everything, some interesting shake-ups.
Definitely. TTM down in third place. We weren't. I'd say we weren't expecting them to be not first, but their average time is 0.3 of a second slower than PGR's, and maybe even more than FRT's, who stole the show in the end there.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, Shazoo down in P5. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. They've made it in, but I don't think they'd have expected to have been, again, that far off. Exactly 0.3 of the average of FRT. But at the end of the day, it's all what has been a very exciting qualifying night. We have now got our 10 teams, and I think it's going to make a very exciting season.
It looks insane, and if anyone can beat FRT down, that is going to be the story maybe of the season. But they now have 12 rounds ahead of them, and we've seen it so many times in the past that in F1, in league racing, in esports, in what have you, anything can happen. And, these guys have now got 12 rounds, 2 mystery Grand Prix, starting in Britain, ending in Japan. There's a lot of action to be had.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a lot of action. Obviously, expect to have, we're going to see a lot of different drivers representing their teams throughout the season. It's a case of, finding those 2 best drivers for those individual tracks. But obviously, we do get going. What will it be? So Xbox is on a Monday, so it's going to be in exactly 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, 2 weeks' time for us, and then August the 9th, which is a Friday night for the PC side of things, and then the Saturday night for the PlayStation side of things. And that's where it starts. Keep on top of the socials and see all the action that happens through there. Thank you to our sponsors, and thank you to Bobbert. Any final words for you from tonight's aspect?
Apart from that, was enjoying the fact that I was originally meant to be doing the qualifying for Shazoo, but then we changed it yesterday, so I'm glad I didn't have to do it in the end, and I was in the commentary box instead. But no, that was exciting. That was good, and looking forward to the season ahead. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to say the least. Good luck for yourself as well through the season for Shazoo, and good luck for everyone. Thank you very much for watching. But from us, I think that's goodbye, and see you in 2 weeks.